Hello, Andrew Joyce from NEFSA here. This is a critical week for our herring fishery. Please listen to this from NEFSA board member Susanna Raber and her family and employees.
We aren't a big factory trawler like we've been called before. We're a small generational family that's just trying to get by. We don't have any partners. We don't have any money behind us. It's just a small family business with a big boat and a big dream.
On something this big of a scale, it's where we really start to bond and know each other. Disasters happen out to sea, and you got to watch out for each other.
Herring is a keystone stock, and we have to share the resource with Canada.
This is the same fish, and if we're not catching it, they're catching it. So it doesn't matter. Cutting the quota does not stop the effort. It just encourages the Canadians to catch more because they have more market to send it into America. So if they're sending it here, they've already run out of market in Canada. And if they didn't have the American market, they would stop fishing because they wouldn't have market. We need to catch that fish. We need to bring it in. We need to land it. Americans, selling to Americans.
This is so serious to us and so serious to so many people that work for us that have invested their lives for our business.
Probably one of the most important things to them is our crew members. I mean, we spend Christmas, Easter, all the holidays with them. They're like family to us.
You know, they've struggled just as hard as we had, and it isn't right.
The uncertainty of the quotas for my only livelihood, yeah, it's certainly scary. Since fishing is so slow, we have to do other things just to, put food on the table. Doing odd jobs here and there just to get by.
We repair other people's boats, other people's fishing boats, tugboats, ferry boats, yachts, and that's what we've done to keep the lights on.
It's been going, but it can only suffice for so long.
It's been really hard on my family. It's been really hard on my mental health. It's been a really rough couple years.
I transport their bait and I unload it off the boat onto my flatbed. We process it and I deliver it to other companies for them to distribute. So without catching the fish, we have no money. If they lose their quota, I can't pay for the truck. The bank will probably take the truck and I'll be done. And this is actually my home, my whole livelihood, so I'll be on the street. My dad had a heart attack and died in Bangor on the bridge. He was actually supposed to drive this truck some. That's why we got it this style. My son Nicholas was born with Dandy Walker syndrome and died at 23 days old, right actually in the hospital right out here. Then I was seeing a girl, she literally died a month later. So all that's on the truck because it's my memories. And the new regulations are choking not just the owners out, but the boat captain, the truck driver, and other employees.
We thought we were through it, and now we're facing yet another scientific survey management track assessment that is filled with holes and lack of data and just doesn't have enough information to be accurate.
As a fisherman, I'd like to spend my time fishing, I'd like to spend time working on my boat, working on my nets. But I spend 2 days on politics for every 1 day preparing to go fishing, preparing the wharf. We spend so much time at meetings trying to keep our fishery alive. It dwarfs the amount of time I actually get to go fishing. It's basically like having 3 jobs and 2 of them don't pay, just to keep this business running.
A couple weeks ago, I went down to Woods Hole, Massachusetts. They were having a peer review meeting. It was a 4-hour drive through Boston in the morning and then back through in the afternoon. And I made a public comment. I feel like I was listened to. I feel like I was heard.
Sitting through the peer review, I can respect the scientists. I respect the jobs they're doing and what they have to do, and they have to use the best available science. But it needs to be known to the regulators and other people how difficult it is to stay and keep the faith when you don't have the confidence in management to make the right decision.
This isn't any normal desk job. I mean, you're out here living the real deal. I mean, there's not any model that will actually represent this.
I feel like it makes a difference to show up. You can't just give up.
The SSC meeting is already underway, so time has run out to be considered in time for that. But if you're seeing this video for the first time, if you're hearing about the plight of our herring fishermen for the first time, then you still can feel free to comment, let the council know what you think at that email address that I'll put on screen, comments@nefmc.org, in the days and weeks to come as the council continues to deliberate on and make decisions for the herring fishery. I'm sure that your comments of support for a reasonable quota, a quota that's not slashing to a new low, I'm sure those comments would be helpful for the council to see. So please feel free to reach out for the first time if you're hearing about this for the first time when you see this video. I'm gonna play more of the videos now that we've released in previous days on NEFSA social media, really highlighting the very tangible human impact of these devastating quota slashes for the herring fishery. If you're not a member of NEFSA yet, I would really encourage you to go to anyfisherman.org, sign up to join and support this work we're doing. We're trying to unite all fisheries. And this is the kind of material that we're trying to get out there. This is the kind of story we're trying to tell and hopefully change the course of for the better.
My family's been fishing since the 1960s. We seine in the summer, we trawl in the winter and fall, we go offshore, we go inshore, we go wherever the fish are, whenever we're allowed to go, we're out there. And this is the last full-time year-round herring boat in America. This is it.
Providian is special, and the family that owns it for sure. It's not like any other fishing job.
The Providian was built in Alabama originally.
My dad paid them to build the boat. The shipyard went bankrupt and he had to have it towed after it was 60% done and 100% paid for. And he poured his blood, sweat, and tears into that boat.
My father and I built this boat with our own two hands. It took us about 4 years to build it. He had fished in Alaska for about 30 years prior to building the Providian. It was kind of the sum of all of his efforts in Alaska to build one pollock boat. While we were building the boat, we lost our pollock quota, so the boat wasn't able to go to Alaska as we planned. So we brought the boat up to Bath to fish for herring, for Stinson Seafoods for canning.
We always have planned to stay in the family business. I always plan for my children to. They already have.
This is what we do. This is how we get our next paycheck. This is how we eat food. This is how we have housing. And I was always thankful for how I've grown up and being able to get the experiences that I've had. Commercial fishing, I don't think I could do it without my mom helping me.
And we all work together as a family to keep the boat running.
My name's Walter Aber. I'm 13 years old. I grew up on this boat, commercial fishing. Probably half the trips I've gone on since I've been alive, I've been on. I love it. It's so fun. It's adrenaline. I mean, it's just something you need to build as a character.
We came to Maine. We thought starting fishery, it's gonna be great. Finally, some relaxing times for our family. In 2004, my dad died unexpectedly. It was really hard on my family. My mom took it especially hard. They'd been married for 30 years. She'd helped him build the business. Always stood by his side, and then he was just gone. I was at work when it happened, and I got the call that he had died, and I came out to the wharf, and I just remember falling down to the ground, and I couldn't believe it. Anyone who knew my dad would say that he was the best man they'd ever met in their life. He was a huge, giant, amazing, wonderful person that would do anything for anyone. And then we felt a deep obligation to take his legacy and carry it on. He had 4 boats when he passed away. And now we have the Providian, and that's the only boat we have. And we have a pollock lease that we have in Alaska, but everything else is gone. It's all we have left of my dad. He literally died for this. And we just want to fish. We want this boat to keep going and be part of the heritage of the fishing industry.
Every herring and mackerel fishery around the world takes generations to build it up, and generations to keep it going and maintain it. It's highly specialized and it's highly technical, and it takes a special group of people to make it happen. And it's not a group that can be replicated. You can't get these crews off the street. They're not found. You have to build these people. And we've built a family here, and that family's in jeopardy of losing everything from what we feel is poor fisheries management and poor stock assessments that weren't done properly.
I remember a couple years ago, before the quotas kept getting reduced, how less stressed out our whole family was, but now it's really tough when they keep saying that they're going to take the quota away and we're just not going to have anything.
Canada's quota is 20,000 tons. To our potential, 0. That's something to think about. You know, we're trying to feed America and we're giving all of the herring to Canada.
It would really mean so much if you guys could attend the SSC meeting for the herring community. If you couldn't make it, there's always a Zoom. It would really do our family and everybody else in this industry a big, big favor, and it would be really well appreciated.
Right now we're getting ready to gear up for seining. Seining season starts this weekend. We haven't fished for 3 months, and I made some phone calls last night to sell bait to some of our customers and was told that they're bringing Canadian herring in across the border by the truckload, flooding the market, which has never been an issue before. And they got another increase in Canada for their herring quota last week following a stock assessment that showed a positive healthy stock from the fall of 2025. And meanwhile, our quotas are looking at being slashed once again after 3 slashes in the last 7 years. Always told there's going to be the last slash, there would be no more, that it was going to go up. But we can finally fish, and now the Canadian fish, which is the same biomass, it's the same stock of herring that we catch, it's all the same. I can't sell herring, which has never been a problem.
The last 2 years have been 2 of the hardest years of my life. We've taken the hard cuts. You know, we all agree that herring isn't in a particular time of abundance right now. We've done the work. We've fished very modestly the last 3 years, and we've seen the system work. We've seen the stock start to rebound, and we see a lot of biomass out there when we do get to go fishing. The herring is on the mend. It's coming back.
There was a research track assessment done last year, and it showed that the stocks were good. The quota went up. However, we only had 4 days left in the calendar year to catch the fish, and the weather was too bad. We tried, but we didn't catch anything. However, this year they did a management track assessment. They did not have several years of data for the shrimp survey. They were missing 1 fall survey, and they had some issues with the research vessel, the Bigelow. They also are not using all of the acoustic data or the state sampling dockside data, and they're not using nearly enough of the industry to see what's really out there.
Every time we go, we see something. When we can go, that's the problem.
We see a lot of herring. When we do get to go fishing, we catch the quota quite quickly. Large schools of all stock sizes. We see everything from small Brit to old year class 6 and 7. But what we are definitely seeing is herring in abundance at different times and in different locations than we traditionally have. Vastly different times, months different time. We don't see the fish anywhere near where they used to be during the time of year when they're supposed to be there. Even different times of the day. And the survey ships also aren't able to survey where there's heavy concentrations of lobster gear. We need acoustic surveys using some technology other than what we've been doing for the last 100 years. You know, the things are evolving, and we need to be adapting the regulations to what the environment's doing. We have quota in Area 2 that we haven't used in over a decade, haven't touched, and we can't move it to another area where the fish have moved. We have to adapt. We can't just close a fishery because we can't do the proper science.
If herring really means this much to you guys, could you please either come in person or join online for the SSC meeting? It would be truly amazing to everyone in this industry if you could attend the meeting.
Canada and America harvest the same biomass of herring, and they have a 20 times higher quota than America does, and it doesn't make sense. We have a meeting coming up, the SSC meeting, and it would be really important for anyone who cares about the fishery, lobstermen, industry-wide, everyone, either Zoom or in person, to come to make a comment would help immensely, because this can be fought, and we need people to help us. We need people to speak up just like we're speaking up. I mean, it's a full-time job right now for me, just going to meetings and doing the politicking, and I would love some support.
My mom, she's been the woman to sit by my side coming through the best parts of my life and coming through like the worst parts of my life. She's a really amazing person. She's come super, super far, especially her losing her dad, which is my grandfather. I never got to meet him, but he seemed like an amazing person, and he built the Providian, and I would have loved to meet him, but...
My dad came up with the name Providian as an acronym. Provider is the P. Responsibility, determination, those were all things that were really important to my dad. The last letter N means never give up, which is one of my dad's most important values, was perseverance furthers, is what he would say, and he really instilled that in Ryan and I. He believed more than anyone else in blind faith, and that was the name of his first boat. And that's what's kept Ryan and I going all these years, is faith. We gotta get there, we gotta go.
I play 3 sports, but fishing has always come first, so losing fishing was like losing a part of me and my identity, and same with everyone else in my family. Losing that would be detrimental to all of us.
All I've been doing since baby just been fishing, but as the quotas decrease, I mean, it's just less and less every year. And it's just heartbreaking to see it go down.
And we've been told we're going to get the quota, and now we're being told we're not.
And now that the mackerel quota is increased, which is great, we might not even be able to take advantage of that mackerel quota because the herring quota could be so low that we can't go mackerel fishing because you have to have herring quota because they school together. So it could potentially shut down 2 fisheries.
It's not something that we might be able to make it through. It might not be something I can pass down to my son.
If this dies, the legacy dies of the Raber family. I mean,
if we didn't have the privilege to be able to catch herring, it would tear my family apart because that's really what's built us, and that's the last thing that my uncle has of my grandfather.
It'd be hard to find another job for my parents. This is their everything. I mean, there's nothing you can do to really change it. You're invested.
And it's devastating to think that we could lose the Providian, we could lose our business. I have no other options. This is my life. But it would be like losing the last piece of my father that I still have. You know, he sacrificed everything to give us this. It's terrifying. It keeps me up at night. It's horrible. And it's so avoidable. I understand where the scientists are coming from entirely, but if you don't have the data to put into the report, you're going to get flawed results.
You have to be prepared to take the hard cuts, and we've done that. When you actually go to the meetings and listen to how many holes are in the surveys and how much trouble the Bigelow had, it's really difficult to sit in these meetings and listen to how bad the science is and still try to rely on it. If we don't have good science, the fishermen just can't take it. You know, we're part of the fishery too. We can't take too much fish, and you can't take too many fishermen. Canada seems to be able to see the fish, seems to be able to increase their quota. We actually had a vessel from Gloucester get chartered from Canada to go do an acoustic survey. We had Canadians paying Americans to do acoustic survey work in Canada. And America, we can't seem to figure out how to do acoustic survey on fishing vessels. I think you'd see the true picture, what we're seeing out there if you did.
We won't know anything until probably a couple months until our season starts, so we can't even make financial plans. Is our quota going to be 10,000 metric tons or is it going to be 1,000 metric tons? We don't even know.
I really hope we get our quota back, and I really do think at the end of the day, if we try hard enough, we can get this quota back and things can be great again, and I really want that to be.
I think my dad would be really proud of where we're at right now. I could be really proud of his son, who he raised. He'd be really proud of that his captain stood by this whole time ever since he's been gone, and I just really wish he could still be here. But I really hope that we can keep continuing on his legacy.
We all work hard. We've always succeeded in fishing. I want to keep doing that. I believe my grandfather would want me to run this boat just like he did. I mean, that's what I want to do when I get older.
It would really mean so much if you guys could attend the SSC meeting for the herring community. If you couldn't make it, there's always a Zoom. It would really do our family and everybody else in this industry a big, big favor, and it would be really well appreciated.